Hello, welcome to Learn Page by Page. I'm Sally, and in this video we're going to go over inverse functions. So let's get started. So what we do is we go through this one first and we'll reverse that function, but then we do a couple of others. We do this one, f of x equals 3x minus 5, using the reverse number machine or flowchart method. And that way we can actually see what we're doing when we're inversing a function. And then we'll do this one, g of x, which functions are often named f, g, sometimes h. F is the most common, but you will come across other letters. So this one, g of x equals 1 minus 2x all squared all over 5. And that one, we'll use the algebraic method. But let's get started on this one first. Now I'm going to use the algebra method here purely because it's quite a big function, and if we were to use the reverse number machine it would be too long. You'll see what I mean when we come on to that later. So the first thing we want to do here is let f of x equal y. So f of x is here, and that's how we say this. We say f of x, and I'm going to replace that with y. So y equals 2 plus 3x all over x minus 2. And now what I want to do is rearrange this equation so I can make x the subject of the formula. So I want to put the y in there and have x here on its own. Then the first thing, let's get rid of this x minus 2 as a denominator. Whenever working with any kind of algebra rearranging, we always get rid of our fractions. So to do that, we're going to multiply both sides by x minus 2. So write what you plan to do either side of the equation. You never know, if you're taking an exam, there could be a credit for showing this. So always show it, and it's good to be able to look over your work and see if you've gone wrong anywhere and you can identify what you've done. That gives us y x minus 2 equals 2 plus 3x. And then multiply out this bracket. So there's an invisible multiplication sign in between the letter y and the bracket. It's telling us to multiply everything in this bracket by y. And the first one, y multiplied by x gives us xy. And then y multiplied by negative 2, we have negative 2y. And that equals 2 plus 3x still. Then we take this up here. And then the next thing we want to do, as we want to make x a subject of the formula, let's move this 3x over here. And as it's a positive 3x, we'll subtract 3x from both sides. That will give us xy minus 2y minus 3x equals 2. Now we only want the terms with x in this side, so let's move this negative 2y. We'll add 2y, and that gives us xy minus 3x equals 2 plus 2y. And now we have two terms. We have an xy term and an x term, both containing x, and obviously we only want one. So the technique here is to factorise. Let's pull that common factor out, and a common factor in both of these terms is the x. So we go x bracket, and what do we need to multiply x by to get xy, and that will be y. And then the next value, what do we need to multiply x by to get negative 3x? So that's negative 3, and that equals 2 plus 2y. And now we can divide both sides by y minus 3, and then we're left with x equals 2 plus 2y all over y minus 3. So we've done our rearranging and we've got what we wanted. We wanted x on its own, and we've put the y into the equation. And then to finally present our answer as the inverse of this original function, so the reverse of this function, we write f to the negative 1 of x equals 2 plus 2x. So you see here we had 2 plus 2y. Well, we now change that y for the x all over x minus 3. Now let's move on to the number machine, or the reverse number machine method. So here is our function, f of x equals 3x minus 5, and we need to find the inverse. So using the reverse number machine method for this function, and then we will reverse it. So we start with our input, which is x, and then the first thing we look at is what have we done to x? Well, firstly, we've multiplied it by 3. And so you draw a box, box and you say multiplied by 3. That will give you the 3x. The next thing we've done is we've subtracted 5. And again, draw a box, minus 5. And so that will result in 3x minus 5. Now to undo this, to reverse it, we start this side and we do the opposite to x each time. So here we will be adding 5 to x and then we will be dividing by 3. Now the number machine works perfectly well, but with big functions, the algebraic method is easier. And obviously more advanced, more pure mathematics, and that's what they will be looking for you to be able to do. So here we have x and then we're going to add 5 to it. So same process, arrow the other way, draw your box and add 5. And then if you put the result here, so that would be x plus 5. And then your next box was divide by 3 because it's the opposite of the multiplied by 3 there. And that gives you x plus 5 divided by 3. And you would write that the same as before, f to the negative 1 of x equals x plus 5 over 3. And then the last one, as I promised you, here it is. We have g of x equals 1 minus 2x all squared over 5. So again, we're going to let g of x be y. And what we want to do is we want this y to be in the bulk of the equation, and then we want x as a subject. Like before, let's get rid of the denominator. That's a 5, so we multiply both sides by 5. That gives us 5y equals 1 minus 2x all squared. And now we want to get rid of this squared term, so let's square root both sides. And we're left with root 5y equals 1 minus 2x. Now we want x as a subject, and here it's a negative 2x, so let's make it positive by moving it over here. So if we add 2x to both sides, that gives us root 5y plus 2x equals 1. And then lastly, we're going to move the root 5y by subtracting it. So that's minus root 5y minus root 5y, and that gives us 2x equal to 1 minus root 5y. Pick it up here as we want x on its own. This 2's in the way, it's being multiplied, so we divide both sides by 2. And that gives us x equals 1 minus root 5y all over 2. And now we'll change the letters and present the function of its final answer. So we were working with g of x, so that's g to the minus 1 of x equals 1 minus root 5. And it's not y anymore, it's x. Make sure you do this. It's so easy to forget and slip up here and leave the y in there. And that was all over 2. And that should be everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped. If it did, go ahead and hit the subscribe. That would really help the channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.